Sports Minutes with Ziaul Raushan.
Money FM 89.3. It's time for Sports Minutes with me, Ziaul Raushan. Now, the brand new season is up and running, and that means new storylines, new stars, and new beginnings. But for some, new beginnings start in the comfort of familiarity. Daniel Goh returned for his third stint with Balestier Khalsa in the off-season. And fresh after clocking 60 minutes in a 2-all draw on opening day with ironically his former employer's Albirex Niigata, he sat down with me to talk about his comeback to Balestier, their contingent of Balkans, and his aspirations for the brand new season. Daniel, a huge welcome to Sports Minutes. How are you doing?
First of all, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to come here. I've watched your podcast, like I said earlier just now, and I love it, man. I can't wait to get it started.
Firstly, it's nice to know that you guys are watching the podcast. Continue to support it, because I think it's important there's a bridge between the players and the fans, right? Let's start about the new beginnings, new campaign. How good is it to get the season underway? Because pre-season, I know, can be a bit laborious.
So for me, when I started the pre-season with Albirex, running every day, I can't feel my legs, man, when I get home. But then after that, I joined Balestier. Then of course the pre-season is still tough. And yeah, yesterday game was 2-2, and I think it's a fair result. Yeah, I'm happy with the result.
I need to ask you this in terms of the game that happened on Saturday, right? Is it weird going up against your former employer as your first game?
Of course, it's very weird. Plus, the fans, they remember me. I remember when I stepped into the pitch, the Albirex fans was shouting my name, Daniel, and I was so happy. Yeah, and to see all my former colleagues, my coaches, former coaches, and the management, I think it's kind of weird. But then when the whistle blew, then I didn't have anything on my mind. I just want to play football and do well for myself.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think you caught the eye in the 60 minutes you were on the pitch, a lot of front running, right? Final result 2-2. You happy? Marko happy?
I speak to Madhu on the bench. I told him I think it's a fair result, but he told me, no, man, I think we should have gotten the 3 points. But then for me personally, I feel that Albirex did well during the first half, and we coming back, attacking during the second half. I think it's a fair result 2-2.
I'm going to talk to you more about what Madhu said, because I think that tells you about what Balestier are aiming to do this season. But let's quickly touch on Albirex, right? Why did you decide to leave after a year at Albirex?
Honestly, I'm going to be honest, I love Albirex. They are a team that is so well organized. Japanese club, they are so disciplined, I don't want to say this, but compared to a local club, the Japanese club, when the training starts at 8, they will be there at 7, 6:45. But for a local club, you start training at 8, you see players walking in 7:45, 7:30. Of course, after training, they will do extra work and etc. So this is why I love Albirex so much, I want to learn the culture, I want to be professional. Yeah, but everything happened for a reason, man. I want to get minutes, I want to play, I want to get back to the national team, and that's why I leave Albirex. And yeah, hopefully I regain my confidence, get back my form, and be the old Daniel.
When you left Balestier, now you come back to Balestier, it's different. Because when you left, Peter Diru was in charge. Yes. Now it's under Marko Kraljevic. How different has it been in terms of that pre-season?
I didn't have a long pre-season with Marko, but I spoke to him on the phone. He was so confident in me. He wanted me so badly. He told me that, hey, Daniel, come here. I need you. I want you. I want to bring you back to the national team, and I'll take care of you. When I hear that, I was like, wow, it's been so long since a coach told me that, the last time was maybe Coach Peter Diru. He also told me, hey, Daniel, I know what's your capability and what's your ability. You can beat on players, you have your speed and etc. So when I speak to Marko about returning back to Balestier, he talked to Tava, and yeah, the deal was very fast. And yeah.
Daniel, can I ask you this? You talk about Marko saying, I've got a plan for you. This is what I want you to do, Daniel. How much or how important is it for a player to hear that from their manager in terms of just feeling good and being able to play good?
For me personally, I feel so much confident when I hear this from him, because like what I said, last year I didn't have much playing time. My confidence was so low. I was so demoralized. I see players playing on the field. I wanted to play, but I just couldn't. I can't tell the coach, hey, put me in. Yeah, so I was so demoralized and couldn't sleep for days because I was not playing. So when Coach Marko told me that I'm in his plan, I was brightened up. I was, please, I want to go, I want to leave. Yeah, I want to go back to the Daniel Goh I used to be, back to the national team. And yeah. And
Daniel, when you talk about that, right, in terms of the coach trusting you, is that pressure for you, or is that a privilege to know that the coach trusts your ability?
Yes, I think it's a pressure for me, because I have to do well. Because if I don't do well, then Coach Marko will be disappointed. But of course I don't want to disappoint him. I want to do my best and help him and help the team. and of course help myself.
Daniel, let's shift it on in terms of all change at Balestier. Marko is the new manager, right? But there's also been change in the sense where Darwin has left. And a lot of fans are wondering what happens then from a management perspective. Perhaps you can tell us if there's anything different you've spotted, or is it almost same old, same old?
I'm not sure about this, the management side. I don't want to interfere the management side. But of course, Darwin is a good boss. I call him boss. Yeah, he's always confident in me. When I left Balestier, we didn't have any conflict or whatsoever. He was happy that I left because why wouldn't a boss want to see his player getting better salary out there, better clubs, better facility and whatsoever. Yeah. So to answer your question, I think Balestier still remains the same without him. I think everything's still under control. And
I think that bodes well for the fans of Balestier in terms of what the club can achieve. Let me ask you about Marko. When we talk about Marko, right, two things come to mind to me. There will be a bunch of Balkan imports, Balkan signings that he's going to bring along, and Route 1 football. Is that fair?
Yeah, the foreigners he brought in, I think it's good quality players. Playing Europe. Even Tim, he was playing for the Croatia under 17. Yeah, so I think all the players he brought in this year, I think it's quality players, and of course I'm slowly gelling with them. And hopefully I can assist them, they can assist me, we can score some goals together and celebrate together.
And is that what Marko wants from his right winger, which is you, Daniel, go number 13? In your 60-minute cameo, we already saw you made a lot of runs, very direct. That's the Daniel we love, right? Is that what Marko wants of you, to run at the defense and try and set up strikers?
Yes, he want me to run behind every single time. And of course, he know my ability. He know I can take on players. He let me be free. He let me to roam around, get the ball 1v1. He tell me, don't worry, Daniel. When you get the ball, just take on the player. You lose the ball, it's okay. Chase back, it's okay. He let me be free, So I love coaches like this. I love coaches like Marko. Let me be free. Of course, he got a player which is Laza, which have a good left foot. So whenever Laza get the ball, he wants me to run behind, because he always told me this, defenders don't like wingers running behind them, because it's very hard for them to, turn around. So, to answer your question, yes, I think Marko wants me to boom, boom, boom down the right side.
It looks like Marko already has a plan for you. What is Marko's plan for Balestier this season? Has he set in terms of targets, certain number of points, certain number of wins?
I think he already said this in the media, I think somewhere. He said that, he want to bring Balestier to the AFC. It's possible. Now we have 7 foreigners. I think it's not about the locals anymore. Whoever has the best foreigners, I think will win. So hopefully, let's see. Will Balestier make it this year?
Thank you for bringing up the foreigners, because it's what I want to address next. When speaking to the Straits Times, you were quite candid about what you said in terms of foreigners. And I'm not going to talk about the foreigners, I want to talk about the locals that have been hit by this rule, right? What went through your mind when you first saw players, your colleagues, who you would have crossed paths with without a pro contract?
Honestly, I was very sad because, a lot of my friends told me that this is a Singapore league. Why so many foreigners are taking over the locals, But then, if I'm a fan, I would love to see this. So many foreigners make the league so competitive. And but then it's sad to see most of my seniors, my colleague, getting retired, hang their boots because of this rule.
Was there a particular ex-teammate that made you feel extra sad?
There's a few footballers, that I know. Like, example, Hazwan Halim, Gabriel Quack, Ho Wai Lun. He almost didn't have a contract. Last minute he have. Also Shadan. Yeah, I spoke to Gabriel. He told me that because of these rules, he have to retire, and be a full-time property agent. And he told me that whichever team pay him maybe 2.5, he would love to continue playing football. But then there's no club wanted to, even pay this kind of money to him. So it's a bit sad, to see this happen. Yeah.
It is sad, the reality of footballers, especially Singaporean footballers in the Singapore League. We'll talk about that in a short while. Let me ask you about Ho Wai Lun, though, because he's a player you have travelled together with. You were at Balestier together, you were then at Albirex together, and now Wai Lun has had to hang up his boots because of an injury. What sort of a person is he professionally as well as on the pitch?
I'm very close to him. We were in a national team together, Balestier, then Albirex. For me, he's a very, very nice person. Captain material. He always giving me advice. Telling me, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. He always so confident in me because he know that I'm a good player. He know that, and he always advised me. And I think it's very unlucky for him. His knee is giving him problem every single training session. He have to eat painkillers every training, not even in match. So I think it's very unlucky for him. But then things happen. Footballers, and at his age, I think 30 plus. I think it's not young anymore. I think good thing that he retired earlier, so maybe he can plan his things ahead.
Let's talk about planning for things ahead, right? We've talked about how there is uncertainty when it's Singapore footballers fighting for contracts, yearly contracts almost, right? A lot of your peers have already started making plans for the future. Your teammates now as well, Darren, Ignatius, all come to mind, right? Already planning for their next step. Is that part of your plan now as well?
Honestly, I'm going to be honest, I don't have any plans at all right now. I just want to focus on football. My friends, my parents, my family members also advise me, you should do something after you should think of doing something after your football career. But then for me personally, I don't like to do anything extra behind. I want to just focus on football first, focus on what's most important for me, and yeah, let's see what will take me after football.
And speaking of your focus, right, I feel like this is a 21-game season we are embarking on in the Singapore Premier League, right? The room for error is very little in terms of teams losing pace. But also for players, I feel, because there's now 7 foreigners, the margin for error or being off form is so little as well. The moment you are not doing the right thing, you can be replaced. Do you feel that?
Yes. I feel 21 games is not enough. For me, I don't know. I think we should have more games. But then every player should, even if they have the chance, they should, prove to the coach, do the best for themselves. Maybe now I'm starting. Maybe next game I won't be starting. So I'll take every chance.
You talk about proving yourself, right? But speaking to the Straits Times, you said you don't sign a foreigner to put them on the bench because they earn more, right? And then the Singaporean is essentially fighting for 4 spots in the team. Is it already a very unfair playing field?
I think for Balestier, I'm quite lucky, because one of the foreigners is the keeper. Yeah, so if Balestier were to have a local keeper, then they will have extra foreigners on the outfield. Yeah, so I think it's lucky for me. Marko talked to us about this before. He doesn't care if you're local or if you're foreigner. If you don't play well, he'll just sub you off. And yeah, I think that's fair. So that our team, we will have the mindset of, okay, since coach has already said this, so we have to fight for our position. Then if of course a local did better than the foreigner, then I don't see why Marko should bench him or yeah.
Time will tell if certain coaches heed what they said, right? But I guess with focus like yours, you definitely are going to push the coach to make that difficult decision. Then you're 26 now, right?
Yes.
Do you feel like you're at the stage of your career where it's make or break?
I think I'm still young. I think I still have so much to prove. I feel that with this rule, now 7 foreigners and making the league so competitive, I'm eager to prove more, so that people won't say that just because you're starting last time, you always first 11, and that's why you burst into the scene. No, I want to make it now, because then they won't have anything to say else.
I'm so glad this is on video because I can see that fire in you when you talk about wanting to make it. To that end, I have to ask you, Daniel, what are your goals for the season? Do you have a number in mind in terms of appearances, goal involvements?
I don't have any goals and any goals or assists. I just want to do well again this year, because last year, I didn't have played much. I was very disappointed. This year, I just want to play well and maybe score more goals than last year, and also make it back into the national team, because of course every footballers they want to represent the nation. And yeah, it's been long since I last get a call up, so hopefully this year I'll do well and eventually get into the national team back.
I can assure you all the listeners listening in are going to push you in that direction. Daniel, you're a speedy winger. I'm going to round it off with 5 quick fire questions to test your skills, okay? First one, footballing idol, local.
Gabriel Quack.
When I was typing out this question, I thought you will say that. True enough, you said it. In the
He's
world?
the only Chinese.
In the world?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay. Toughest defender you faced in the SPL?
Wow. I'll just say Shakir Hamzah.
Okay. What's your pre-match ritual?
I will just step in the field with my left leg.
Okay. If I could relive one day in my career so far, what day would I be?
The day where I made my debut.
National team or club?
National team against Hong Kong. I think I did very well that game.
Okay, and this is my final question. This season, I want to be remembered for?
For Daniel Goh, who is a speedy winger who dares to take on players and give every defender a nightmare.
I can't wait. The season just started. Daniel, thank you for joining us on Sports Minutes. I wish you all the best for the season ahead.
Thank you, Raushan. Thank you. It's a pleasure coming here.
Sports Minutes on Money FM 89.3.